I have a story to tell. And there's something going on with West Texas. There's a guy in West Texas that has been going to my properties that I have for sale, trying to take them deals from me. And I put a stop to it. So the story is this. In November or October, I reached out to this seller. She said she wanted to sell her home. I told her $85,000. She said that she wanted to think about it for a little bit. So Thanksgiving goes by, Christmas goes by. And right around New Year's, she gives me a call and she says, John, I'm ready to sell. I want to sell my house. I said, sweet. She said, you already sent me a contract before. It was $85,000. I said, okay, is that the price that you want? She said, yes. So we proceed. We talk on the phone for about 2 hours, had a really good conversation, super sweet lady. Everything went smooth. I mean, it was picture perfect. From the look of it, from the very beginning, it looked like it was going to just be another great experience. Seller in need, seller in a situation, distressed, family, Superman to the rescue. Here we are. We're going to get this home sold. We're going to get this thing funded. We're going to get you paid. She wanted $85,000. I agreed to it. We locked in $85,000. The next day, already, I jumped to it. Inspection, photos, all that stuff gets taken. And then the next day, I had 5 investors go to her home to buy the home. I had 2 out of the 5 investors send in offers. And she disappeared. The next day goes by, and she says, hey, John, I don't want to sell anymore. I said, what's going on? Did something happen? What happened? Because honestly, if she really didn't want to sell anymore and she truly changed her mind, then I would have let her. I would have just terminated. Fine. But she told me that someone else went to her house, knocked on her door, and offered her $5,000 more. And because I sold a home 1 mile away, and I recognized the name that she told me because he put in a lowball offer on my investor list. She told me it was him. Immediately, I call my TC, Jillian, title, and I say, I need to file a memorandum. I've never done one of these, but this guy, he's fucking with me. So they helped me do it, and we filed it. And, when you do that, it's to protect the buyer's interest on the property. Now, getting into the practice of filing memorandums is not something that I'm trying to practice. But this was a situation of exactly why a memorandum even exists, right? It's so if I show interest in the property and I do all the steps that I say that I'm going to do to purchase the property, I purchase the property, right? Just like a seller has protection in contracts, buyers do too. So a week goes by. She texts me today and says, John, can I call you? So I call her and we talk on the phone. Come to find out, there was another person knocking on her door, trying to offer her more money. And I'm going to post the conversation of how that went. Now, it's about 8:30 p.m. I'm a bit tired, so I apologize if I was, a little stern. But doing those kind of things, trying to go behind somebody's back, is wrong. And you have to respect business. You can't go try to take people's deals. You can't go and try to undercut people when things are already done. So if you're in the business of real estate investing, or if you think you want to start wholesaling, don't try to get good at taking people's deals. 1, you're going to have a bad reputation. 2, someone that knows what they're doing is not going to let it happen. And you're only, at the end of the day, going to hurt the seller. So I'm going to post the conversation here where she does tell me that she got another offer, $5,000 more, and she was asking for more money. And she was also saying that she was scared that after I received the photos of the property, that she was scared that I was going to go down on my number. And just like how I can't go down on my number because it's in the contract, she's protected for that amount. I can't go all of a sudden up on the number because it has to be, it's an equal fair contract. So I'm going to post a video of the conversation of when I talked to that seller. And what I did was to protect my interest. I filed a memorandum to protect my interest of the property because of this exact situation. So this is textbook exactly why you would file a memorandum on a property that you have interest on purchasing. It's John.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't make nothing. I thought I was gonna get out.
No, you're fine. You're fine. How are you?
Like if we can come in another different, kind of agreement, because
The first time we talked went beautiful, and I rewatched the whole thing. You were telling me how, how people do the wrong thing and people don't tell the truth, and what the reason why I like this so much is if people don't tell the truth, that's fine. That's why everything is written down. And I paid for an inspector. We came into an agreement, and everything went great. And maybe somebody outside of me and you came and said something to you, and that can only get other people in trouble, especially when someone like me is by the book. I do this a lot at a very high level, and everything always starts off super good whenever everybody's on the same page. But I always see that when greed or a liar comes in, or somebody comes in third party to try to do something, that's when things get messy. And I do things so correct that protects both ends of every agreement I've ever done. And I've had multiple guys always try to come behind my back, and they always pay. And what sucks is not only do they have to pay me, but now the seller is in a bad situation because I do it correctly. And if things were just done, you told me a pitch about God and this and that, and then I was about to lose, and I was about to be lost out on my time and money, and that's not fair.
yeah, but also given that, I should have
Been honest.
I should have shopped around more.
You did though. We talked 3 months ago. I was given realistic numbers, realistic timeline. I sent real people. I was getting things done really quickly. Like every person that has ever wanted to sell their house is so happy with how fast and how on top of things I am. And every once in a while, there's always somebody that, I think I can get a little bit more. I think I can get a little bit more. I mean, once we're
That's not being greedy. So it's not being greedy. It's that I'm trying to get as much money as I can. They offered me a little bit more.
What happened with them?
Going to nowhere.
But what happened with them? Like why weren't they able to do it?
I don't know. They just told me to talk to you.
You know why they told you to talk to me?
No.
Because they saw that I had title open and I have a binding contract with you to purchase it. They can't buy it.
Okay.
They can't. How come you didn't communicate with me? Like the first conversation went so well. How come you didn't just ask me?
Because your contract does say that if you don't see the house is fit enough to what we had agreed on, then you can always offer me less. So
it doesn't say that. It says I could try to renegotiate, which you don't have to agree to.
Yes.
It says that I could try to renegotiate, but it doesn't say I can offer you less. The number on the contract, just how it protects you from getting that amount, it keeps me from giving you that amount. Just like how nobody's going to make me give less and nobody's going to make me give more. It protects you to get the exact same amount. That's what a contract is. I know people think they're not serious, but especially whenever they're done right, like how I do them, you're getting exactly that number. I'm not giving you a penny less. So you got worried. It wasn't even real. It was just emotion that you got worried. It was nothing based on facts, and John didn't say that he didn't like the photos. You just thought that I didn't like the photos.
You never got back to me. You were really specific and picky about having the photos done.
I didn't get the photos yet. I mean, just because he took them doesn't mean he sends them straight to my phone. Like exactly why that first guy that told you to send me that text message, he told you to send me that text message, right? About some legal team.
Yeah.
Why do you think he got scared? And why do you think he got scared and told you to call me? And I always ask the right questions and say, hey, is this the number XYZ? you told me you wanted 85 and I said, okay. So you reached out to me also and then said you wanted 85. So I didn't desperately call you 50 times. You called me and you said you wanted 85 and I talked to you for 2 hours. I said, okay. And then later you wanted to go with somebody else. That's not any of the.
No, but it's like you say they offer you a job and they're giving you $50 for an hour. They're giving you 20. Which one are you gonna take?
I mean, I joined the military. I couldn't back out. You see what I'm saying? Like when you sign an agreement, like a contract, you can't. And like no, that's not what I would do. No, I wouldn't back.
You come to for the terms, and like I'm not willing to go any down or any less. You know.
Percent not judging you at all. I have no right to do that. I have no right to do that. I'm all about being fair and being proper, correct, right? I'm very correct on how I do things.
How much I wanted, they just gave me the number, you know.
You told me what you wanted, and I said yes.
Because the first time you go back to a contract, you had offered me 85.
I just offered you 85.
Yeah, no, the first time.
I still did. Again, you told me that you wanted 85.
You had said, and then when we spoke again, you said 80, and I said, no, remember you told me 85.
And then I said, okay. I don't understand. I don't understand. There's no. We're on the same page. Like we're saying the exact same thing.
Because after they offered me more, I was like, well, we can use it for something else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but something that's 5,000, like I said, you know. Nobody's gonna
just like a marriage certificate, you know, when you get married, if next week you meet somebody and they are offering you a better life, a better everything, you can't say, oh, husband, I'm not doing this anymore. This guy's offering me something better. I need it. Like, that's not right.
You can give me at least another 5, you know, to
I mean, I just like how it would be unfair for me to go down, I can't go up because it's in writing already. We've already submitted. We've already opened title. That guy that tried to go underneath me, because like you see in my business world, if somebody already had an agreement with somebody, it would be a dirty thing for me to do, to try to go behind that guy's back, take food from his family and try to make money on it. That's really wrong. And so I don't do those things. But when people try to do those things and he sends me a message about a lawyer, I laugh because my lawyer will demolish him. And that's why he told you to call me. That's fine though, but he still knew you had a contract, and he tried to take it, and that's not how you're supposed to do things. You don't take things that are already, like, if you worked hard to get something and you got it, and someone tried to take it, that's against the law. That is, regardless of any emotion. If you went and worked for something, and you went to the store and you said, I'm going to get this, and you wrote a contract, and that company said, yes, we're going to give this to you. And you did everything you're supposed to. What happened? Like, you know, and most of the time, whenever something like that happens, there's a new person that tries to come and offer $2,000, $5,000, whatever more. A couple times I've said, you know what? I know that guy's a liar. Go ahead and do it. And then that person doesn't have the money to go buy the home, and they leave the homeowner stranded. And then the homeowner calls me back. He backed out. And I say, too bad. Now I don't want it. I said, okay, next time he comes back to one of my homes and he tries it, I'm going to sue him for so much money he'll never be able to buy a bag of rice again. And he told me to call his legal team, and I just looked at it and laughed. I said, okay, you know, they'll call me whenever they try. And look.
I don't know if they spoke to him, I don't know, but
they can't. Legally, he can't go behind my back. Legally, no one can. Because I did things the right way. And that's what you want out of someone that's going to wire you $85,000, is you want someone that's doing it the right way.
Okay, yeah, but your contract also says that y'all pay for everything, you know, and then...
It doesn't say everything on the contract. It says I pay all closing costs, and I do.
Yeah, and then I was just wondering, why is he trying? Because
I don't know why people do the wrong thing. I wish I knew, but I don't try to learn why people do the wrong thing. I know that every word that I say, I follow through with it, and I even put every word that I say in writing. You haven't even had me say that I lied to you once. But for some reason, I'm not trusted, and that's fine. What's really special about business is we don't need to trust each other because we have a contract.
Is that we need the money, you're not getting it.
Then why did we delay the closing for you to get the money?
Because,
that doesn't make any sense.
I didn't think you were going to be that fast. By telling you somebody was knocking my door, I was in my underwear, dude. Good thing they didn't catch me there.
I had no idea about that, and I will apologize.
Underwear, the lady opened the door. By the time I knew it, and good thing I was in my pajamas. But I'm usually, and I'm being, I'm not supposed to say that, but
no, I understand. No, I understand.
At least 5,000 more.
If I was able to get 5,000 more, that means I would be able to go down 5,000 too, and that was what you were fearful of. You're fearful of me going down, but you want me to go up. I'm not really understanding the fairness of what you're trying to get. You want it to be fair for you, but you don't want it to be really actually fair. If I was able to go up on the price, then I would be lying to you when I said I'm not able to go down.
Yeah, but what if somebody, let's say you're selling a car and somebody gives you $20.
When someone pays for the car and they write the contract and take the car off the car lot, they cannot go back and say, hey, I want to get, can you make the payment lower after they sign for the car? They cannot do that. No, that is not correct.
Oh, well, yeah, after they sign.
And so what I'm saying is we already agreed to the price. I've already submitted earnest money, open title, paid inspection to purchase the home. The car's off the lot. It's just when you allow it to close, it'll close. If you want to wait a year, then I'll wait to get it in a year. But then I don't we were on the same page and we were really, 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 really cool in the very beginning. And nothing I did, at least intentionally, changed anything. I sent photos. I sent all the workforce to get this thing getting done because you told me that you really needed the money. So I said, I'm going to work really hard for this lady and I'm going to make sure that I get this bad boy funded for her. And then while I did that, the other thing happened. And so if we can proceed, I'll continue to get the ball back rolling and we will get the ball back started.
Okay, what does that mean?
Because we lost about 8 days with that guy stole your time and my time. I had people going to it that already wanted to buy it.
Because the first guy, he was really interested. He said he was going to call us.
Which one?
He's the only one that came.
The one I sent.
Yeah, you need to.
Yeah. I think hopefully he's still interested and he didn't get something else.
She had a very thumbs up on that.
Yeah.
She told me.
I wish we could have done it already. I do this a lot.
Well, get back to them.
I'll call them and see if they're still interested in it. If they haven't bought anything else.
Just communicate with me.
You told me to call you at 6. I called you 2 minutes before. I'm very easy to get a hold of. You tell me you want me to call you. I have always done it.
The day before we have an appointment, be there from full time.
Yes, ma'am.
And if I don't answer, just text me.
I sure will.
But get back to that guy. The lady really told me you're going to receive a call.
Yes, ma'am. I sure will.
He looked excited. That guy when he came out.
Yes, ma'am. I sure will. And we'll have a good experience with this. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. I'll get to it right now.
I got fearful, and I don't want no more lowballing. It's been hard.
No, I understand.
And it's up to you. But thank you, then.
Yes, ma'am. I'll get to work on it. Okay. I'm gonna call him and see if they're still interested. Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
You, then.
Yes, ma'am. I'll talk to you in a bit.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Save the deal, baby. Memorandum. Try to snake my